Good morning and Assalamu alaikum class 9th. Today we will start our new chapter, which is chapter number 2, solving a biological problem. Okay, this is our new chapter, solving a biological problem. In this chapter we will learn how we solve a biological problem. And you know what is biological problem? First of all, you have to remind that nowadays we are facing COVID-19 situation. It means it is a biological problem. Every new disease which came into our lives and may abrupt our daily routines, these all are problems or biological problems which affect life. Problems or disease which affect our life are known as biological problem. Okay, then now we will discuss how to solve this biological problem. ठीक है. Firstly, I will read its definition. The scientific method in which biological problems are solved is termed as biological method. It's mean a proper method has been used for the solving of biological problem. The whole method is known as biological method and it can be done and these steps are as follows. Recognition of biological problem hai yahan pe, let me correct. Here you go. Recognition of biological problem. It's mean firstly scientists will recognize whether it is a biological problem or not. Biologist this biological problem beta related to some living organisms that is either asked by someone or come in biologist mind himself. It means somebody asked scientist how this happened, how could this possible, how this organism or how this virus affect our lives, okay, or come to biologist mind himself. So this was the first step in solving a biological problem, is a recognition of biological problem. After recognition, after the consideration that it is a biological problem, we will make its observations. We will consider symptoms of the disease. In this situation of COVID-19, we observe symptoms. We have coughing, we have sneezing, or respiratory disorders, and fever and flu will occur. These all are our observations. In the same way, while we will solve a biological problem, we will make observations. Observations can be made through 5 senses, which are vision, hearing, smell, taste, and touch. Observations are made with 5 senses, which you have already studied in your lower classes. Beside this, observations are maybe of 2 types: qualitative observations and quantitative observations. There must be 2 types of observations. But quantitative are more accurate, qualitative are less accurate. ठीक है. Now I am going to explain this with the help of examples. When we are talking about qualitative observations, then I will say that the freezing point of water is colder than the boiling point. Okay, then moving towards is quantitative observation. The freezing point of water is 0 degrees Celsius and boiling point is 100 degrees Celsius. It's mean quantitative is more accurate. I have discussed quantities in it. I have also mentioned it's 0 degrees Celsius and 100 degrees Celsius. While in qualitative observation, I have not mentioned such thing. I just simply say that the freezing point of water is colder. It's mean quantitative observation is more accurate. Now I am going to giving you another example of qualitative and quantitative observation, is that while I am talking about qualitative, the liter of water is heavier than a liter of ethanol. Now I don't know how much heavier the water is and how much heavier the liter of ethanol is. While moving towards quantitative observation, I must say that a liter of water weighs 1000 grams and liter of ethanol weighs 789 grams. Its mean quantitative observations are more accurate and more acceptable and give us complete information about anything. There are two types of observation we have discussed. Now we are moving towards hypothesis. In hypothesis, we will create a statement, a simple statement while construction the hypothesis. We will construct a statement. The statement may be true or may not be true. All scientists and all biologists will gather and try to disprove the hypothesis. They will work so hard so that hypothesis will be proved wrong. If hypothesis stand true, then it will be go for further testing, further deduction and then experimentation. The point is hypothesis might be true. It must be a journal statement. The proper definition of hypothesis is the tentative explanation of observation is called hypothesis. Its mean this statement has ability to change. When the testing goes on, it must have ability to change. It may be a tentative explanation, or it may be defined as a proposition that might be true. We don't know it is true or not. It might be true, it might be false. Okay, then we will move towards its characteristics. There are important characteristics of hypothesis. It should be a journal statement. It must be a simple and journal statement. Number second, it should be a tentative idea. It means when we need it, we will change it. It should be agree with available observations. It means it must have to be according to the observation we have done before. Besides this, it should be kept as simple as possible. No need of use of hard logic or hard and fast rules in hypothesis. It should be simple, kept as simple as possible. It should be testable and potentially falsifiable. It means when we need it, we can say that our hypothesis is wrong. When hypothesis will be constructed, then we will move towards its deductions. Deductions are the logical conclusions which are drawn from hypothesis, which are derived from hypothesis, are known as deductions. This is the next step of solving a biological problem, in which deductions are drawn from hypothesis. Clear? For this purpose, when we have to make a deduction, we will consider our hypothesis as a correct hypothesis. We say that our hypothesis is correct and we will draw deductions from it. Okay. The point is, you have to remember the deduction use if and then logic. It involves if then logic. This is the important point. You have to note that on your notebooks or books. It use if then logic. After this, when we make our deduction, then we will go for experimentation. Whether our deduction is correct or not, we will prove it through experimentation, and our experiment will prove our hypothesis is correct or not. Because right now we don't know our hypothesis is correct or not. We have to go for proper experimentation purpose. Okay. This one is the most basic step of biological method. Biologists perform experiments to see hypothesis is true or not. I have mentioned already. The deductions which are drawn from hypothesis are subjected to rigorous testing. Through experimentation, biologists learn which hypothesis is correct. It's mean by doing an experiment, we will come to know that our hypothesis is correct or not. When we did an experiment and it will prove wrong, it will reject our hypothesis and it will have no use in future. But in case we have done an experiment and it will prove our hypothesis, then we will make it as a law or theory or report it in seminars or talk in seminars, and we will discuss it with other biologists. Beside this, accepted hypotheses make further predictions that provide an important way for further testers' validity. Next point is summarization of results. Here you go for summarization of a result. As its name indicates, we will gather data, summarize our result we have done from previous steps. We will now gather our steps, which is known as summarization of results. Biologists gather actual quantitative data from experiments, data for each of the groups, and averaged and compare statistically. It means they will gather data, average them, and then compare them with statistical techniques, and then conclusions are drawn. It means we are moving towards our reporting the result point. After this summarization, what we will do, we will report the result. Biologists publish their findings in scientific journals and books. It means they will start publish their work and talk at national and international meetings and in seminars at college and universities. Publishing of result is an essential part of scientific method. It allows other people to verify the result or apply the knowledge to solve problems. The point is, when a biologist do all the steps, all the work, and he will not going to report it or mention it or publish it on a book, then how other people know they have done their work? It's mean reporting the result is the most important step which a biologist have to do after the whole process. He have to talk it at international meetings and national talks, and at universities he must have to report other biologists so that they may also work on this biological problem, and they will share their aspects and they will share their knowledge also. They also verify this biologist work. So these all the process of solving a biological problem. When all this happen, after the summarization, after the reporting, after its the proof of its validity, it's become then theory, law, and principle. After reporting, when our hypothesis is given repeated exposure to the experimentation and it's not falsified, it increases biological confidence in hypothesis, and they will think that our hypothesis is correct. Such well-supported hypotheses may be used as the basis for the formulation of further hypotheses, which are again proved by experimental result. It means all the biologists will start work on the hypothesis and they also prove this hypothesis is correct. Then the hypothesis that stand for the test of time, often tested and never rejected, is known as theory. It means those hypotheses which proved true from experimentation has now become a theory. It means other biologists also say that the hypothesis is correct and the working is very well done. A theory is supported by a great deal of evidences. Now we have another type of theory which is known as productive theory. What is productive theory? Productive theory is that which keep on suggesting new hypotheses, and so testing goes on. Productive theory is that which continuously suggests new hypotheses, and we will do a work again and again. Is known as productive theory. After this, we will move towards law or principle, and as it is the final step. What happened in law and principle? If a theory survives such a doubtful approach and continue to be supported by experimental evidence, it's become law. It's mean there must be no doubt. Now, what will happen? The statement or our theory become our law or principle. A scientific law is a uniform or constant fact of nature. It's mean no one will ever change this law. Is known as law. It is a uniform or constant fact. This is the fact of nature or irrefutable theory, and this will be the irrefutable theory. No one will gonna change it. I must mention its examples. Examples of biological law are Hardy-Weinberg law and Mendel law of inheritance. No one will ever try to change these laws because everyone know even today these laws are acceptable and these laws are used by many peoples for understanding of other concepts of inheritance. After the solution of a biological problem or making it as a law or principle, we will gather our data. We will organize and we will gather our data. Here is the whole process of the collection of data and organization of data. So it is known as data organization and data analysis. Firstly, you have to understand what is data. Data is the information such as names, dates, or values that are made from observation and experimentation is known as data. Now we will study how we will organize data. We will organize data in different formats. I have mentioned it like in tables, like in graphs, or in flowcharts. We will gather data in these ways. You are well familiar about tables, in graphs and in flowcharts too. So we will organize data in these following ways. After data organization, we will analyze data. We will create a small problem of a malarial disease, and we will analyze data. Data can be analyzed in ratio and proportion. I think you have done this ratio and proportion in your lower classes and also in mathematics. For better understanding of your data analysis, biologists create a small problem. And what is the problem? Problem is that a biologist can calculate how many birds will get malaria when he allows infected mosquito to bite 100 healthy sparrows. In the previous experiment, he noted that when he allowed to bite 20 sparrows, 14 got malaria. When he allowed 20 malarial mosquitoes to bite 20 sparrows, then 14 of them got malaria. Now the problem is, when he allowed to bite 100 sparrows, then how many birds will get malaria? This is the ratio 14 ratio 20. It's mean 14 got malaria out of 20, while we don't know the value of sparrows which got malaria when 100 healthy sparrows will be bitten by mosquito. This is the ratio 14 ratio 20 and x ratio 100. After this, we will create a proportion 14 ratio 20 proportion x ratio 100. Now use your some skills of maths. When we have to find the value of something, we will write it firstly. X The meaning of this ratio is it is divided. Mean x is divided by 100. X divided by 100. 14 divided by 20. According to the rule, the thing which is divided from left hand side will multiply on right hand side. X multiplied by 20 is equal to, this 100 will move towards right hand side. 100 multiplied by 14. And we will have to separate the value of x. What we will do in x, the next step, we will separate this x as a in left hand side. X is equal to 100 multiplied by 14, and this 20 will came downwards and it will divide it by 100. After its solution, we will got x is equal to 70. It's mean our biological problem has been solved. We have analyzed our data. When 100 sparrows will be infected by a malarial mosquito, then 70 will get malaria. When 20 malarial mosquito will come and bite 20 sparrows, then 14 will get malaria. This is the whole process of data analysis and data organization which you have learned. Last is a mathematical as integral part of scientific process. Beta, we have got definition in this. The definition is about bioinformatics. Bioinformatics refers to the computational and statistical techniques for the analysis of biological data. This is the smallest definition. I hope you have understand this lecture and enjoyed your chapter number 2. Thank you, class.